Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to another episode of This Week. I'm confused now because I do so many episodes, shows, actually just two. Welcome to another episode of Afrochat Weekly. This is episode number 10. This is a weekly show where we discuss issues facing digital marketers and business owners today, things that are happening in the news that might have affected your business or might affect your business in the future. So we keep up to date, and then you just come here and keep you up to date so you don't have to go scouring for the news. We know how difficult that can be sometimes. So we keep you on top of your game and ahead of your competition. As usual, I'm Ali Kibao, and with me is Laurina. And this episode is brought to you by afrodynamics.com. You can go over there for updates. You can subscribe to get updates to this show when we publish this show. We do it live. Hopefully, in the near future, people will be able to join us. But other than that, you can go there to download some resources that can help you with your business marketing in the digital sphere. We've got a lot of news to cover today, and we'll get to as much as we can for as much time as we have. But we've got some news from Twitter. We've got, of course, news from Facebook. We've got some news from YouTube and LinkedIn. Surprise, surprise. LinkedIn doesn't come up much in the news, but we've got some news from LinkedIn as well. So we'll get to as much of that as we can in the next 40 minutes or so. And we hope that you can also send us your questions, comments, suggestions. We're open to those wherever you're watching this episode from. So, Lorena, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Excuse the squinting. My eyes are kind of sore today, but otherwise I'm here.
I'm squinting your eyes is so. It's only Tuesday. You couldn't have been facing the computer that much over the last. Well, you did say you had a hectic Monday, so
Yeah.
maybe it's from staring at the computer screen the whole time.
Yeah, and in general, my eyes are just always acting up a little bit. Today's that day.
Don't you wear glasses?
No, I used to. Not even.
Oh, and you stopped because the doctor said so, or
Yeah, it was like a 6 month reading glasses thing, and I didn't want to get addicted. So after the 6 months, I was just like, okay, that's enough. I'm fixed. I'm healed.
I, as you can tell, I went for a haircut, and the guy completely messed up. He gave me bald spots here, and there's a few
Oh
bald
my
spots
god.
here. And I go down to Norwich, so I don't go to a fancy
Yeah.
barber or anything. The guy charges $20 a haircut. I go there, 10 minutes, I'm done. I don't do anything fancy. I wait until the hair grows too much, and then I cut it, and I wait until it grows too much. So I don't have any consistent schedule as such. And I always I go to places where black people go to cut their hair, and
Yeah.
often have difficulties finding someone who will understand to cut my hair because apparently your us black people your hair grows from the back here. I think everybody does that with everybody, but your hair grows from the back here and it does a little circle. And when
Yeah.
you cut, you can decide either to go with the grain or against it. Now that's the barber's choice. But with my hair, so it does that. And then at the back, there's apparently another line that goes in the other direction. And then here in the front, there's another line that goes in another
Oh
direction.
god.
So every time I go to a barber for the first time, I've got to train them and tell them, hey, if you're going with the grain, you must understand that the grain is different in the front and at the back. There's different grains where the directions of
You've
the
got natural parting.
you know so you get here, and then if you're going with the grain, and when you get here the grain goes backwards, and when you get there the grain goes sideways. Otherwise you give me bald spots. I've been going to this guy, and a haircut is $20, and I usually pay him 50.
Yeah.
Just to say you charge too little. But yeah, today I don't know. Maybe I got there too early. He just messed it all up. I've got a bald spot on my back, but yeah, it's hair. It grows back. So yeah, that's my rant for the day. I'm done ranting now. Let's get to the news. Our first news item comes to us courtesy of TechCrunch, and the headline reads: Twitter now acts more like a messaging app with read receipts, typing indicators, and web link previews. So Twitter is basically trying to become another messaging app, as if we don't have enough of those just yet. But Lorena, what's your thoughts on this?
I honestly did not know that this was not a feature on Twitter until like now. I really, other than SMSs, I feel like every messaging app has this already. So I mean, wow, Twitter. This is one of the reasons why Twitter has been falling behind so much. It's because it takes so much time for it just to catch up with the basics of the basics. I think it's a good thing. I don't use Twitter DMs at all, but for those who do, this might be, it might add a bit of, I don't know, spark to the conversation, knowing that at least someone's read your messages, so you're not just waiting there like an SMS, basically not knowing what's happened to your message. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good, but I mean, it took them a while.
Let's have a look at what they're saying that they've added here. I don't know if you can hear the music or not, but this is what basically it is now. So you can, yeah, add a bunch of people, add a link when you send. Uh, you can see when it's sent, it's received, and when it's read as well. You can see the tick turns blue. That reminds me of
Yeah.
the old BlackBerry story. See when people are typing to reply, like you do in WhatsApp. So yeah,
Hello, Ali. Hello,
new feature, I guess, for support
hello, hello. I think we've lost Ali, um, but I'm pretty sure he'll be right back. Oh, there you go.
So you were busy saying that I'll be right back, and I'm busy saying you'll be right back.
Whoops.
So he's there. I'll be right back in. Yeah, that. I was saying, I think Twitter is grabbing at straws, and
Yeah,
it's a sinking ship right now. Unless they do something drastic to turn it around, they keep tweaking. They need to find out who they are because Twitter right now, is it a chat platform? Is
yeah,
it a news out? They don't know. I don't think they even know who they are. And if they don't know who they are, what about the users?
yeah,
We I've made some interesting connections, some good connections on Twitter. I've done some business as a result of Twitter. So I think you got to be very deliberate and intentional about Twitter, but it's really not the platform or a platform that stands out anymore. And I keep doing these little things, and I feel like they're not addressing the core, the underlying issues. They keep doing these little things that really don't make sense in a lot of
yeah,
ways. Anyway, that's number one story from Twitter. The other story coming from Twitter is also something along the same lines of grabbing on straws, trying to figure out who they are. So now this has been coming for quite some time, and a lot of people have spoken about this, and the idea that Twitter is most likely going to lift the 140 character limitation. We saw something similar to this. I think it was last month or the month before that, when they announced that your at mentions, they won't count towards your characters.
yeah,
So before at mention someone, that would also be included in the 140. And then they decided, no, they're going to do away with that and a few other things that won't be included as part of the 140 characters. But this is now something altogether. You've been tweeting for quite a bit for our clients, Lorena. I don't know how do you feel like this is something. Is this going to help you in your tweeting adventures? Is this something that businesses should get excited about at all? I mean, we are talking about Twitter after all.
um, they shouldn't necessarily jump up and down. I mean, like you said, it's just Twitter. But I think it will help me specifically because I am not a Twitter person. The 140 characters has always restricted me because I tend to go on and on. So Twitter does help you get straight to the point, but sometimes you just need just a couple extra characters to get your point across. Because I don't want to just be posting because I post pictures a lot, and that takes up part of the characters on Twitter. So
Does it still
I
do
don't.
that? I thought that was part of what you did live.
No, it was just the at name, but I know the
Oh man.
pictures. I still, if I post a picture, which is what I do with every tweet, then that takes part of the characters, and then I'm just supposed to put like elephant. I literally just have.
And that's always been the thing, right? You don't necessarily want to write up a whole blog post on Twitter, but there was always
Yeah,
times where the point would have been made better if you had just 10 more characters.
yeah,
If I only had 10 more characters, I could have made this point. Now you got to go
yeah,
back and edit. And it makes the whole tweeting process quite tricky sometimes. But it also
yeah,
maybe helps people get to the point better. I mean, because some often the words we use, we don't necessarily have to go on for those many words or
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
But yeah, again, it's Twitter grabbing at straws. I don't know if this is going to fix any of the problems that they have. They have
No.
they're not. It's not a growing platform. Businesses are finding it difficult. I mean, they still get advertisers on there. I see a lot of South African brands, big and small, advertise on Twitter. More big brands like your F&B's, Absa's, Coca-Cola is a worldwide brand, but F&B, Absa, I think SAB, they advertise a lot on Twitter, and there's room
Yeah.
for that. And but even their advertising platform, they've re-engineered it quite a bit, made it a little bit user friendly. But the targeting is ridiculous. I couldn't target like Port Elizabeth. You could only now with the recent changes, I think this has been addressed, but you could only target like South Africa. Like
Mm.
so if you're a
And on
local
top of that,
business,
it's super expensive.
yeah, absolutely. And it was like,
Like it's
why
ridiculous.
bother? Yeah, so that's it for Twitter. We'll keep an eye on that, see if they do lift that 140 characters limit. And if you do use Twitter, let us know how you feel about this. If this is something that excites you and why it excites you as a business or as a marketer, or just generally a Twitter user, and we'd like to know from that. I feel like it's okay. It's not like I'm gonna use Twitter a little bit more, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, from Twitter directly to a platform that we can't talk about social media or digital marketing without having to mention, and that is Facebook. This comes straight from the Facebook newsroom, and the headline reads: more seamless, more ways to share, more ways to buy, more context, introducing Messenger platform version 1.2. Now, Facebook Messenger has been trying for quite some time to become an all in one platform. I have a take on this, Larina. I would like to hear from you first. What do you make of this, of what Facebook is
Um,
trying to say here?
Honestly, I didn't know about bots until recently, so I'm still trying to wrap my head around bots. I've only ever interacted with a bot on some app, I don't remember what app it was, where it automatically sends you messages. So you have like options of what messages to send back to it, but you can't necessarily like be like, hey, what's good? Or something like that. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that you are able to obviously, as a consumer, purchase something that you want right there and then instead of having to go onto a website or whatever and search for whatever it is you want and then purchase it. But from our point of view as marketers, we are still now um, trying to sell on borrowed land again. So that doesn't really help us because we've always said that the aim here is to get maybe an email list that you can email people and tell them maybe about your specials or whatever what's going on in your business. It's easier to interact with people that way. And they've given you permission to contact them so you know they're interested in your business. But with bots, okay, yeah, once someone buys your product, then what happens afterwards? What if you have more things to offer them, etc. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm two ways
So
about it.
So bots are an interesting concept. This is people have called them the new apps, and they've been called many names. But basically, what bots are is mini apps within an app. So if you use WeChat at all, which I have tried to use a few times, but I don't use WeChat to communicate. But I used to see what other brands are doing on WeChat. So you can listen to, for instance, the Gareth Cliff radio, Cliff Central. You can listen to that on WeChat. Super Sport, they release their news and pictures and videos. Excuse me, on WeChat. But over and above that, WeChat is a selling platform, and they do this thing now. WeChat South Africa, they run these promotions every Wednesday where things are like half price. So this coming Wednesday, you can get the Fitbit Blaze, for instance, for 2,000 rand, where it sells for about 5,000 rand, and they have a limited stock of that. So they're trying to get people to first of all put money in their WeChat wallet. So basically, what it does is that you go to your WeChat wallet, you link your credit card to that, and you can buy from your WeChat wallet or directly with your credit card from within WeChat, which is a good concept. But going back to your point about building on rented land, it always goes back to the idea that you don't own any of that data, you don't own any of that information. I guess if you're making sales, that's not always a bad thing. But if WeChat decides to change the rules, like what we're going to see in our next story with YouTube, and something that Facebook has done over and over and over again over the years,
Yeah.
then businesses sometimes can be left in a position where they're royally screwed. They like
Mhm.
literally they have no way out, and some businesses have even failed and closed completely because of Facebook changing certain rules. So I
Yeah.
get the idea. Makes life easier. You can do everything within an app like your chat app. Your messenger, for instance, without even having to talk to a human. You can buy. You can book your doctor's appointment. These are things you
Yeah.
can do on WeChat. You can book your doctor's appointment, pay for your cab. I hope I'm not getting
Bless
sick.
you.
Excuse me. Pay for your cab, pay for book for a doctor's appointment, pay for a doctor's appointment. You do all these things within the platform, but then they own you basically.
Yeah.
They own the business and they own
Yeah.
the user and they control the whole thing. And that's maybe a little bit of a problem. But do you feel like it's just us who are in the industry who care a little bit too much about this, and maybe other people don't really care about it? What do you
Yeah,
guys
I
think of that?
yeah, I do think that we care about it, but it's because we know the behind the scenes and what goes on, and that you can easily lose all your customers or your clients or whatever. Just like when you can get 10,000 likes on your Facebook page, but you don't even own those. It's easy for you to say, "Oh yeah, I've got 10,000 likes on my Facebook page," but what does that really mean? And I think that's
Yeah.
what we ask, and that's why we're so concerned, because it doesn't really mean you have 10,000. I feel like it's
People
useless these
paying
days.
attention to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have 7 million followers, and you post, and then two people see whatever you've
Yeah,
posted.
so what does that
And
mean?
some brands, Lorena, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
some brands they worked really, really hard and spent a
Hmm.
lot of money building Facebook audiences and other
Yeah,
social platform audiences, and then overnight gone. Like you
exactly.
can't use it anymore unless you pay for it. And you already paid for it to be part of the Facebook ecosystem if you want.
Exactly.
Unfair, but that's unfortunately how this get money for its shareholders, and you are just a wheel or a cog in the whole wheel of Facebook, which
Yeah.
brings us to our next story from Facebook, YouTube rather. And I don't even know. Did you watch the video by
Yes, I
PewDiePie?
did.
Okay, so PewDiePie, for those of you who not in the YouTube sphere, I'm gonna put this, share this my screen here so you can see. I'm gonna play this if you can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound?
No, I can't.
Okay. So this guy here is PewDiePie, and this is a perfect example because as I play this video, there's an ad that came up here. You see, get get qualified and teach abroad. This is how YouTube creators get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, by these ads that pop up in front of their videos, and by the ads that come before the video started playing. Okay, so that's how part of that money. So we as business owners go to YouTube and we say we want to show our ad before a video or during a video, and then a banner will come up, and then YouTube will charge us for that. And then part of what they charge us goes to these content creators, a percentage of that. And for someone like PewDiePie, who is by many accounts the highest earning YouTuber right now, he's got, I will share the screen here again so you can see for yourself. He has 47 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Just wrap your head around that. 47 million, right here. 47 million subscribers. This video he had made was viewed 5 million times. So he's got a huge following. He has been reported to make about $10 million a year. That's just under $1 million a month by playing video games and recording them. So he gets paid for that. And then one day, YouTube came out, and their complaint is that YouTube didn't tell them about this. But
Yeah.
YouTube just suddenly they see they're not getting money for the same kinds of videos that they used to make. And YouTube came out and say, hey, there's certain things if you say or do, we're not going to take your video down. But if you say or do certain things, advertisers don't want to advertise in those scenarios or circumstances. So we won't show adverts on your video. In other words, these creators won't be making money out of those videos. And they just blew up. I have a take on this, Lorena, but I'd like to hear from you first. What do you make of this? We speak a lot about rented land. What is your take on these YouTubers crying here?
This is a typical example of rented land, like we have said so many other times before. There was another guy, I've forgotten his YouTube name now, who was also complaining about the same thing. Now, with him, he can't avoid some of the clauses that YouTube put in their new terms and conditions or whatever, because he does current affairs type of news. So he has
Yeah,
clips
yeah,
of
yeah.
like
I know his name.
cops, yeah, like
Frank.
cops killing, yes,
Frank.
Philip
Yes.
DeFranco.
Frank.
Exactly, like he can't avoid some of these things, and now he can't change his tone or his style to suit YouTube because people have subscribed to him for a certain reason. So now he's gonna lose it's either he loses money or he loses subscribers. But either way, it's a fail. So then what do you do in a situation like this? That's why I think we've always said build your audience somewhere where you can control them. I mean, imagine if
Yeah.
this guy had an email list of 49 million. Obviously, that's going to be terrible to try and maintain. But at least you've got that audience somewhere else other than YouTube.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think with
let's be
PewDiePie it's going to harm him in any way, but I do understand why YouTubers are complaining.
yeah. Someone like PewDiePie, he's been very smart about this because he monetizes his audiences in many, many other ways. He's
Yeah,
got things like apps. He's written a book. He's done all these things. He does tours. He's great at making money out of his audience, and I think they're going to continue to make money because they can do product placements, which they got in trouble for. So YouTube has got in trouble for if you were getting paid by YouTube advertising, you can't do product placements in your content. They got in trouble for that. It's going to be an interesting time, but it goes back to the whole idea of not Robert, Joe Paluzzi from Content Marketing Institute always says, all these platforms that we use, you must always look at it this way. Think about it as if I woke up tomorrow and this platform did not exist, the platform that I'm doing my business on, or have my subscribers on, or have my followers on, if that platform was to go away tomorrow, where does that leave me?
Yeah.
In the case of someone like Philip DeFranco, he is he is messed up, like you say. Either way, he's
Yeah.
gonna lose either subscribers or money. He can't change the tone of his show.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculously complicated. But listen to businesses here, Lorena. What is your final word to or of advice to businesses here?
Email
What
lists.
should they take away from this? Email us.
That's it.
Email
That
is
is
still
it.
key, Email is still key. Because you know what? Even if you do, like people, I don't know why we disregard email so much because email is powerful.
Yeah.
PewDiePie has got things like apps, and I guess he can still communicate and connect with his audience that way. And it's probably not going to affect him much with 47 million subscribers. That's quite a tall order. But
Yeah.
yeah, guys, it's just important to keep in mind that we don't control any of these platforms. And what's making you money today might not always be there. So while it's making you money, it's always a good idea to figure out ways, other ways you can monetize on your audience and keep them, interested in what you do. So even if the
Yeah.
platform that you're connecting them to them with falls away, you still have a leg to stand on. But yeah, this is interesting. I think these YouTubers have got no right to complain. Really, they don't.
Yeah.
One guy I was listening to, he was saying, you know what? They can complain the day they pay YouTube to use the platform. Oh wait, they
Yeah.
don't pay YouTube. So you're getting this free service, you're making millions of dollars out of it, and you want to complain when the people who are paying your money are saying, no, I do not want, of course I don't want my advert to show up in
Yeah.
there's circumstances where it's okay, but sometimes I don't want my advert to show up before bad news, things about wars and stuff, but a bad taste in people's mouth.
Hmm.
Like, or you're swearing, and I don't want my advert to. So advertisers can spend their money wherever they want. Those people who obviously, when you advertise, you can specify that and say, I don't mind if my video shows up if in a video full of profanity. But
Yeah.
other than that, they've got no right to complain. Advertisers can put their money wherever they want to, and yeah, that's I don't know. This is just they're just bitching for nothing. I don't know. I'm not a
Actually.
creator, so I don't have a horse in this race. I do this. This is also part of YouTube, by the way. So yeah, they can change it anytime. Well, we came from Blab. We're here now. We'll probably find another place to continue to do what
Yeah.
we but
As long
listen,
as we
we
build our
publish
email list.
we publish on our website. So after we've done this, then we put this on our website, so
Yeah.
people can have access to it that way. And this way we want people to go. Anyway, let's move on to the next story here. And this new social network called Gab.ai preaches freedom of expression for internet users. I'm just going to read the first paragraph here for you. If the First Amendment is your thing, this is an American thing, talking about amendments here. There's a new space on the internet just for you. Gab.ai, which only launched under a month ago, has caught the attention of thousands of right-leaning users, with 12,000 registered and 42,000 waitlisted for the site, which promises almost total freedom of speech to its users. Lorena, what do you have to say? Yes.
Um, when I read this, I
Yeah.
was like, wow, wow. Really, have we not learned from Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all these social platforms we've had? I have come to realize that we don't deserve freedom of speech just yet. We're not there as a society, as a human race. We cannot handle freedom of speech, and this is the last thing we need right now. I just see it as a bullying platform. Bullying.ai is what it is to me because
Bullying that AI.
that is what it is to me. That's how I feel about it. It says here, the owners or the founders or whatever won't have a say in what should be restricted on the platform or what can and cannot be said, but rather that users will be upvoting or downvoting people's opinions and be the ones who will allow or disallow opinions on the platform. That's stupid. When we need somebody
And you
to
know what?
control.
They're not the first ones to try and let users moderate.
Yeah.
Um, it was Periscope. that tried the same thing. So Periscope is live, and when someone was abusive on Periscope, I don't know if this feature still exists. I haven't used Periscope in a while, but if someone gets abusive on Periscope, the other people around in that stream can tag the user and tell Periscope this is abusive content,
Yeah.
and then Periscope will take measures. It's difficult. It's We were talking before the show. We were talking about this, and I was saying, when it comes to bullying other people, someone should watch out for that. The question then becomes who should watch out for that? And then
Yeah.
an even more important question is the person who's watching out for that, how far do they go to decide what is and what isn't bullying and what is and what isn't appropriate? And the moment we
Yeah.
get to that point, we get to this whole idea. I mean, for crying out loud, Philip DeFranco speaking about the YouTube story, he was saying that is YouTube is censoring him. Now, that is just bogus bullshit to me because how can you can have your video up. YouTube says you can have it up. You're just not gonna get paid for it. It's so the role, first of all, who should be the mediator? You're saying the
Yeah.
people should be. That doesn't work. We've seen that with Twitter. If anything, it can have the reverse effect because people pile on onto
Yeah.
stuff, and then whoever the mediator is, how far do they go to decide? But anyway, I think this is a fad, and I doubt it will go anywhere at all.
I hope it doesn't.
Because yeah, it's quite an American thing, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got one more story, and it's going to be our last story today, and that is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, the headline here reads that I'll just share my screen. Headline reads, check out the new LinkedIn publishing experience. It's as beautiful as your ideas. The first paragraph of story reads, many of the best opportunities and conversations on LinkedIn happen around our content, the news, ideas, and perspectives shared by our 450 plus million professionals. Today, we're excited to roll out a new publishing experience, making it even easier for you to reach and engage with your audience on LinkedIn. And then they go on to show about you can add on multimedia, you can insert presentations, you can put on layouts. So they want you to basically have your blog on LinkedIn. They love this, but there's also a downside, and I guess it always goes back to the idea of building on rented land.
Yep.
Always goes back to that. But it gives you a little bit more exposure. I must say, I've published in a few articles on LinkedIn, and your people who are following you or your connections, they get notified that you've published, and a few more people might read it. But I don't know. What's your opinion on this, Lorena?
Again, the whole rented land situation. I mean, yeah, you happen to get, let's say 2,000 connections, but what are you going to do with that if LinkedIn decides, no, actually, we are not going to give your users notifications when you publish. Let us have an algorithm system, or let us have a payment system, or let us have this and that. You then lose that 2,000 notifications that were going out to your connections as soon as you published, and now you're kind of stuck. What do you do now? So I think if you're going to use LinkedIn to maybe publish posts and then say to read more or to find out more, go to our blog, and then there they subscribe to your email list. But otherwise, just trying to build on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
I don't see that being.
I understand that. Why is that? So I'm trying to figure out what this noise is. Excuse me. But if you can do a campaign type of thing, like if you have a purposeful approach to this where the ultimate goal is time limited, you're going to do it for a period of time because you have a set amount or set number of outcomes or set number of things that you want to achieve, and you say the way I can achieve those things is by publishing through LinkedIn, Facebook, Medium, whatever that platform might be. And then after that time, this is a short-lived campaign, but it can't be your main it can be, but you must know that you must always keep in mind that this has to come to an end, or it's
Yeah,
always going to come to an end because they will change the rules tomorrow. And it always happens as soon as a product this nature starts to become more popular and more people publish on it, then algorithms get thrown in. And then, of course, LinkedIn wants to make money out of this, like Facebook has had to make money out of their platform, and they put rules in place that they just mess everyone around, like YouTube is
Yeah.
trying to do. And yeah, so I don't think it can be the only strategy, but it can be a means to an end if you know what that end is, but not just being
Yeah.
publishing for the sake of publishing. And if you are a professional, say you have a personal brand, I can see this being useful to some extent. But again, I think it's important to just keep in mind that it's always going to be time sensitive. It's not going to
Yeah.
be forever. Principles will always change. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. We thank you very much for joining us. So once again, this episode was brought to you by afrodynamics.com. Don't forget to go over there and subscribe for all the goodness that will keep you on top of your game and ahead of your competition. We are going to get into a segment here. I don't know, Lauren, do you have anything to review today that has come on
Um,
your radar?
no, not, I can't think of anything. My mind is blank.
Okay. Guys, I just want to show you something quickly here. There's a I don't know if this is geeky. I think I've reviewed this. Have I reviewed the screen recording thing before? Okay, I'll
No,
just share the screen.
no.
I'll show you quickly. I'll show you guys quickly. So there's this little extension. If you're using Chrome, you can install the extension. You know that there's times when you just want to show someone how something is working or not working in a browser, or you're developing a website and you want to show someone who's not in the same room as you. You want to show them how the website looks on your end, or when you click something, something else happens, and you end up having to take a lot of screenshots and send them through. There's an extension called it. There's an extension called OpenVid screen mic and camera recorder. So I'll just show you here quickly what it is. I'm in a browser right here. I'm looking at this, and I want to show someone how something works or how something. What I can do is then right here. I don't know if you can see it. It and then if I was logged in, I haven't logged in. If I was logged in, then this extension would start whatever it is that I do. So every click, if I click somewhere, if I can even record my face, so my face will come up on the side right here, and I can record my voice. So I can say, hey, you see the share button right here, or the tweet button. When you hover over it, it makes this blue color. I don't really like that. Or when I click on it, it doesn't take me to the wrong place. It takes me to the wrong place. You can give all these instructions. As soon as you hit finish, your video is already uploaded to their service, and all you do is you share you a link with the person that you wanted to show this thing to, and that's as easy as that. So you don't have to have any complicated software. You don't have to take all these screenshots. You can just and record whatever it is. And the software, once again, is OpenVid by OpenTest. It's OpenVid. So just Google OpenVid, and this can be very useful in some circumstances. I hope you guys find it useful as well. That's it for our show today. We thank you very much. Laurina, thank you very much for your time today. We hope to see you again next week. Please join us then. Until then, stay on top of your game and ahead of your competition. Bye bye.